Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyananda. Welcome back to all of the viewers who are joining us for today's program, the Devi Parashakti Akashic reading, the profound Vakyartha Sadas on the Satsang that we had a few days before, and now continuing into the next segments of this program as we continue to present the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the indigenous women of Kailasa. As many of you know, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been the sole voice for Hindus across the world to revive Hinduism, to show the world the Holocaust that is ongoing against Hindus and Hinduism in so many different fronts, in all different directions, undergoing attack. And just a few days back, we had the wonderful news that the United Nations, the most renowned peacekeeping organization in the world, has recognized the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and has given us a platform where we could express the pain, the victimization, the dehumanization, and fundamentally the denial of the rights of human beings, women, children, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Over the last few days, I myself, as well as many of the members of my community of Kailasa, the women of Kailasa, have come forth and shared our stories. How we were targeted by the leaders of anti-Hindu militant forces, and many of us raped, sexually assaulted, even as children. We were brutally assaulted, gang raped, and manipulated, brainwashed by the anti-Hindu militant forces who were set out to destroy the mission of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, leech the resources for their own criminal activities, and ultimately assassinate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. I request each and every one of you, if you can take some time, a few minutes just now, to go to the link which is in the scroll below, where the OHDH has recognized the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The official Human Rights Commission of the United Nations has recognized that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been persecuted, as well as the indigenous women of Kailasa. If you go to that link, you will see a link among the list of nations recognized and communities recognized for the denial of rights, of basic human rights, is Kailash Union. The Kailasa, the ancient, enlightened, macrocosmic Hindu civilizational nation that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving. Now today, we are going to be understanding the direct usage of violence against women as a tactic for the cultural genocide executed by the anti-Hindu militant forces. And how, first and foremost, in so many genocides, in analysis and research that has been provided and funded by the United Nations into doing a post-mortem of history's worst genocides, worst holocausts, and worst denial and crimes against humanity, that women and children are targeted primarily for their vulnerability and their crucial role in society. Because they are vulnerable, and secondly, because they are absolutely crucial in the future of the whole population, the community, nation, whatever it may be. On one level, women are in charge of the stability of a family and as a community in large. And children are targeted because of the future that they promise just by being alive and just by being the inheritors of the culture and tradition that is being passed down generation after generation. So we have seen in genocides across the world how these tactics have been used to destabilize an entire population and fundamentally keep them subjugated, keep them oppressed, and continue crimes against them, continue the rapes against women, the assault of men and women, the kidnapping of children, making them into child soldiers, and making them manipulated, brainwashing them until they're no longer able to even identify for themselves. And after that, we have seen how it takes years for them to recuperate if they are even able to. For example, in the Cambodian genocide, how infiltrants, militant infiltrants, had subjugated the entire population in the rule under the Khmer Rouge. And in that time, rape was used as a tactic to destabilize families, households, and subjugate the entire population and make sure that the population was unable to provide for themselves, to grow stably, and to even practice what they fundamentally believe is good for them and is the right to their own life. And like this, we have seen in Africa, in Southeast Asia, in India, in China, in so many different places, how violence against women has been used as a tactic to execute cultural genocide. And it has been researched upon by the United Nations, and it's a very important, significant topic that they themselves have been understanding, have been showcasing to the world and bringing to the light, just as they have brought to the world, to the international platform, the persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where violence against women and the absolute denial and crimes against the indigenous women of Kailasa is used as a tactic to destroy the entire nation of Kailasa and to eliminate its leader, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Today, we are understanding another fold, another chapter in the entire persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. This decade-long attack that has happened every single year, undergoing attacks in all different directions, physical, brutal assault, or false, illegal cases filed against the disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as well as himself, and also destruction of property, arbitrary and illegal arrest, thousands of hours of hate speech on the media, on the mainstream media, and inciting hatred in the public and inciting the anti-Hindu elements to conduct staged mobs, ultimately for the purpose of assassinating the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Today, in this chapter of the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we'd like to present to each and every one of you one of the most brutal attacks that we have seen, the most vulgar, brutal, violent attacks that we have seen, forcibly removing women and children from their place of worship, brutally assaulting them, sexually abusing children, and ultimately destroying thousands of years of heritage. In the place called Pavalakundru, Tiruvannamalai in South India, this was the place where in Puranic history, with scriptural references, where even in the Arunachala Puranam, it is said, referenced, that Devi Parashakti herself had meditated in this place and she had attained the oneness with Paramashiva. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself has revealed this once again to the world to restore the significance, the sacred Hindu significance of the place, Pavalakundru. This was a place where Devi established in her oneness with Paramashiva, both them expressed as Ardhanarishwara. And this was the place ultimately significant for the flowering, ultimate beautiful flowering of the sacred feminine consciousness, Devi Parashakti. And of course, in the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, being one of the places which was the most significant in his own life, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had the Enlightenment experience at the mere age of 12 years, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism trained in yoga and trained in the science of power manifestation, and spent so much of time understanding, reviving the sciences in order to bring it to the whole world with his gurus, the great enlightened, esteemed adepts and Hindu gurus which surrounded him, recognized him as the incarnation of Paramashiva from the very birth. This was the place where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had this experience of the first enlightenment experience, where he was radiating and expressing the super consciousness of Paramashiva, which manifested inside of him in a multifold, extremely powerful way. And this was the place where, after which this experience happened, in this sacred place called Pavalakundru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism began manifesting and initiating more and more people into the same experience of oneness that he was now completely expressing, manifesting, and radiating to the whole world. It thus is so much of significance to Kailasa that this is the very place where services began from that very young age. An Adinam was constructed by the gurus, by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's gurus, who recognized him as Paramashiva himself. An Adinam was constructed, and even the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gurus, whose name is Kuppamal or Mataji Vibudanapuri, even started a woman-only organization and began holding the events and everything in this Adinam in Pavalakundru from as early as 1988, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was just 10 years of age. And from as early as then, continuously spiritual activities were ongoing, and the empowerment of women was happening in this very place, where just 20 years later, we will see atrocious acts of violence against women and children. Since then, the Adinam was continuously serving the population and the whole women of Kailasa in Tiruvannamalai. And it was such a beautiful ecosystem. But continuously, the anti-Hindu militant forces did not want to allow this to happen, did not want, first of all, the revival of Kailasa to happen in this sacred place, and the women to be empowered in this place and overrule the oppression that they have put for years against Hindus and Hindu women in this place. Today, joining with us is one of the victims of the brutal attack in Pavalakundru, who was just 16 years old, a 16-year-old girl who had decided she wanted to live the life of Bala Sannyas and live the teachings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In just a few minutes, we'll be hearing the heartfelt sharing of Ma Nithya Prajnanananda, one of the victims of the brutal attacks against the Kailasa in Pavalakundru. And we will be understanding, we'll be able to see an insider's experience of how these terrorist forces have absolutely dehumanized down to just denying very basic human dignity, the dignity of a woman and the innocence of a child. I request all the viewers to keep listening, understanding our story and the story of this brave 16-year-old who has underwent so much at the hands of the anti-Hindu militant forces. Please stay tuned with us, and we'll be right back with you.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive, somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely. I will reach you somehow. Somehow I will reach you. It's my commitment to humanity. Just don't die within next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. You manifesting the space, state, powers, being Paramashivoham. It is possible, and it is possible for you. Paramashivoham will reach you with enlightenment science. I know he is going to do the job. Just be alive for next 3 years. Nothing else.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Today, we are going to share with you how the violence against women was used in such a brutal manner against the women of Kailasa to destroy the Enlightenment ecosystems being revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Today, we have joining us Ma Nithyananda, a Balasant of the Nithyananda Gurukul, who has been living in the Adina since her age of 7 or 8 years of age. She joined the Adina. This was way back in the year 2007. And she has been blooming and growing in the Adina, studying in the Nithyananda Guru. And during the attack on the Enlightenment ecosystems established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Pragyana became a victim of violence against women. Just 17 years of age, being a total minor, not even a major, she was sexually abused, physically abused, verbally abused. It's a heart-wrenching story that each of us need to listen to. So I now invite Nithya Pragyanananda to come forward and to share her experience of violence against women.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
So we have today joining us Ma Nithya Pragyanananda. Nithyananda Ma Pragyana.
Nithyananda.
Just a moment.
Nithyananda.
Yes, Ma. Please go ahead. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, ma.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining Nithyananda TV to share your experience. So can you share a little bit about when you were in Pavarakundal, the Enlightenment ecosystem where Swamiji had his first Enlightenment experience? What were you doing there? What were you doing in Tiruvannamalai at that time? And what was your experience of the attack?
So at that moment, I was, the power manifestation demonstrator. So with that happiness that I had with the powers, I wanted to spread it to the whole of the world. So at that point of period of time, first I wanted to go to the residence where Swamiji was born, right? So I wanted to first go and do my the third eye power demonstrations over there. So that is the reason I had gone to Tiruvannamalai to do the demonstrations of the power of third eye.
So, dear viewers, if you're listening to this, Ma Pragyana was a Balasant of the Nithyananda Gurukul who manifests all the extraordinary powers of the third eye, and she had gone there to
Power demonstration is whenever I have a break or whenever I want to do my seva for the Pavalakunda rock, that being the most important thing in my life, one of the most important parts of my life, Pavalakunda, where my master, my guru, Swamiji has become enlightened. So whenever I want, I can go there and do the seva by doing either the abhishekam, by washing the rock, and by keeping the flowers and doing the puja. I had been going there regularly for doing the puja.
Okay. And what really happened on the day where we are seeing on the screen now visuals of a brutal attack against the people that were living there, the male and female sannyasis, and also I can see you in the picture. So what really happened? Can you describe and narrate the incident?
The day is one of the days it is very hard for me to forget. So I had gone like the normal, it was like another normal day. I had gone there for doing the abhishekam puja. And as we were doing the abhishekam, as we all started doing the abhishekam, all of a sudden I saw full slippers and the alcohol bottles, all of it lying down. That just broke me. And after I saw all of that, we cleaned up the whole place, and we again started our worship. And all of a sudden, there was a big ambush of so many people with sticks holding. I did not understand who they're coming for, what they're coming for. I did not understand anything. Full of cameras, medias, everyone was coming all of a sudden over there. And at that period of time, I was first in shock that we who are not doing anything, we are just doing our own worship, just keeping the place clean and doing the abhishekam and taking care of the deities that we had over there. We had so many people coming there, and I was there sitting wondering, why are people after us for something that we are doing is only, it is not a crime that we are worshipping. It is not a crime that we are doing puja. It is not a crime that we want to take care of the Hindu deities.
Yes, Ma. And you can clearly see in these videos, you guys were simply peacefully sitting there, praying to your deities, and the police, the state-sponsored police, are coming and dragging you guys out, physically pulling you out of the Adinam. How did that feel, especially while this is being broadcast on television to the world and nobody is there to help you? You're just there helpless.
At that point of a time, when I was feeling all this, I still had a small hope inside of me. I still had a small hope that yes, the police will fight for us. The police will support the right. But I did not expect that they will be coming right there and treating us like criminals and coming on top of us, beating us and I, at that point of time, was a minor. At least I thought that they will understand that a kid is going to be going through all of this. They did not think about a minor, nor did they think about me being a female. They just came and started throwing stones and sticks and started pulling our hand, dragging us down the steps. Even now, I can feel that stone coming and hitting me, or their hands pulling me. That harsh feeling that I felt at that time. Even now, I'm able to feel like I'm going through. I did not expect such hard treatment. Being a female minor, I felt like going and hiding behind the bushes that were there. I wanted to go and hide behind the stones and bushes, that the plants that were there. I wanted to hide myself and protect myself. I was in complete fear and was of what will happen to me if people who I thought will be fighting for the correct, fighting for what is fighting, thinking of us as criminals just because we are doing our Hindu puja, just because we are doing our worship.
Yes, Ma. And you can clearly see, viewers, Ma Pragnana being dragged out by the police. You can see them pushing her down and pulling her out of the hut where she was peacefully worshiping, where she was enjoying her connection with her guru, her deities, and simply being attacked for worshiping Hindu deities and for practicing Hinduism, directly attacked by the police itself, whom, like she said, thought would protect her, would save her in this situation. Rather, they're the ones who are inciting the attack on her. And the media simply watching and recording the whole situation for the world to see, to show as if she's the criminal in the situation, despite just being a child.
Again, as you know, as we can see in the visuals, the police is manhandling you, manhandling your mother. And this is happening in the very holy town of Tiruvannamalai, which is such a sacred place for us. So when you were going through this, Pragyana, at that moment, I know one side is so much of fear and so much of anxiety. What else you went through? What else you felt at that moment?
At that moment, I felt very insecure. I had taken the decision by myself to be a Hindu, and being a female did not help it. Just because of being a female monk, they thought we are weak and started manhandling us and pulling us. And I was a minor at that time, and I was. See, we were not doing anything wrong. We were there cleaning up the place, collecting all the dirt which was there, that was thrown over there, and keeping that place clean and taking care of that rock that we had respected with our whole life. That was a mistake that we did. Is it a mistake or is it a crime? That was what was running in my head. I did not understand what wrong we were doing, just taking what we have dedicated our life for. We're just doing that. We were not even people who are completely really, even the criminals are not treated like this for just for doing puja how we were treated. I just for doing puja, me being attacked with shower of stones, me being hit with sticks and being dragged down the hill. That was an unforgettable moment for me.
Yes, ma'am. And it looks like in these visuals that you guys were actually arrested. Maybe your mother and the other sannyasis who were there were arrested for this situation. Can you elaborate a little bit on this?
At that point of time, like how I was telling, I was completely into protecting myself. Being a minor, I was really, really scared. I went behind like a house that was there, and I was seeing the whole scene in front of my own eyes. I had to see my Guru Behens being taken into the police car. The police who I thought are going to be helping us over there, they were taking right in front of my eyes. My sisters, who I believed to be my own sisters, were being taken inside those cars, and for what? Just because they were there doing puja. How was puja a crime? Just because of us being there, worshipping that place, taking care of our deities. At that point of time, I felt so shattered that just being a Hindu, we have to go through so much. Being a female Hindu, we have to go through so much. It is not stopped there. Me being a minor was beaten up, and the police standing there were seeing a minor being harassed, a minor being beaten up, a minor being thrown stones at, pulled down, and did not take a step for us.
And as you're sharing, Jana, what impact did this incident leave in you? Because, it's not just attack. I heard that the police did behave inappropriately with you. What impact did this leave in you as a 17-year-old young child?
I can just tell that the last hope that I had, that police, there is someone who is there for us, who can help us, who can protect us, can give us what is rightful for us. Even that last hope, when I was mishandled by them themselves, who I trusted will be there for us, helping us go through this hard time of my life. They themselves taking it as an opportunity and harassing, taking such a time where I was going through a really hard period of my life as an opportunity for them, and handling the female monks over there in an inappropriate way. I felt really disgusted, not about them but about myself.
Yes, Ma. As a minor, being taken advantage of by the police, by the trusted people in the community who you thought would protect you, can only be traumatizing. And I can only imagine what you've gone through over the past few years in trying to heal from this situation and trying to trust police again and authority figures again after being attacked by them.
After going through that, when we were taking our deities and walking, in front of my eyes, I saw my mom being pushed down the steps. And seeing the police push my mom right in front of my own eyes, was very scary. I just hope nobody in this world ever goes through something like this, ever.
Dear viewers, at this point, I would also like to let you know, Pragya her father passed away when she was very young. So she grew up with a single mother, and then later on brought, and she was residing in the Adina. And her only parent She's just 17 years of age, and her only parent, her mother, being manhandled. Imagine what the trauma that child would have gone through. Seeing your only parent being mishandled and being abused and being ill-treated. That's what Pragyana.
And I can only imagine, Ma Pragyana, what insecurity you must have felt seeing your mother being dragged into the police car and away from you without you having anyone else to take care of you. How you must have felt in that situation. Can you share a little bit?
At that point of time, what I felt what I felt did not even matter. I felt that everything is happening without anybody thinking about each one what they are going through, how it will impact them. At that point of time, in my head, I was thinking I'm losing her forever. They're taking her and going. Nobody bothered me being a minor, how I will be going through the situation. And on the other point of time, I was also not understanding why she's being handled like this. Why is she being dragged like this? For what? Just for doing puja? Just for sitting and cleaning the place or doing the puja? Is that a crime? Where she has to be dragged down the steps and literally pushed with such heavy deity she is holding in her hand. She was being pushed, and I was not able to do anything. I was not able to help it in any way. I felt so insecure. I felt so helpless. I did not know what to do at that point of time. What I can do that will not make the situation in this way. I was just wondering what I can do at this point of a time, because everybody was not interested in what we are going through. If we are being beaten up or if we are being pushed down the step, they were all interested only in us for protecting ourselves, taking the video. They were all busy seeing what model of phones we were having or what type of dressing we were doing. They were only busy with that. They were not ready to see what really we are going through. We are being hurted. We are having full scratches on our hands, or we are being pulled by the hair. Nobody is interested in that. They're all interested only in what they want to see, not in what we are going through.
Dear viewers, as you can see, Pragyana is one of the hundreds of Kailasa women of Kailasa, who has experienced so much of violence by the anti-Hindu elements, by the neo-Hindutva militants, and in this case, even the state-sponsored attack leading to violence of the women. They don't care whether you are a child, whether you are a woman, whether you are a man. They just know that because you belong to the authentic revival of Hinduism and you are a follower of the Supreme Conduct of Hinduism, that is enough for all these elements to attack you completely illegally, brutally, relentlessly. We are being attacked. And today, thanks to the efforts of the Supreme Conduct of Hinduism, finally, the persecution against us is coming out in the eyes of the international community, with the United Nations recognizing the persecution of the Supreme Conduct of Hinduism. We invite each and every one of you, if you feel touched by this, please share the report published by the UN on the attack, on the persecution on His Divine Holiness and Kailasa, and share it with the hashtag UN recognizes persecution of HDH Nithyananda and Kailasa. The hashtag is projected on the screen. With that, we will not be concluding the segment, but we will be continuing to have more and more segments where more victims. We have hundreds of victims of persecution. Each and every one has a heart-wrenching story. This time, we bring it up in the eyes of the international community. So we'll now be concluding the session with the Purna Mantra, and the next session will be the Kailasa Courtyard Power Manifestation session. So please stay tuned. Thank you so much, Ma Pranyana, for coming and sharing. I know it's not easy to relive and to go through that same traumatic experience. Thank you so much for coming and sharing today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Padukarpanamastu Om Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda
Jnanapatati Manual under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadasham Tattamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is power manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is power manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness.
So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift. Playing with life. Playing with being alive.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained what is power manifestation. Power manifestation is cognitive shift and being alive and in superconscious space. A human can experience the superconscious space, and it is a science. That is why it is called a science of power manifestation. And each one of us can experience it, and it is repeatable. That is why it is science, and the evidences every time it has been given clearly that it is a science for us to experience the conscious space. Shastra Pramana, the evidence from the scriptures. Shastra Pramana are the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures. Apta Pramanas are the experience and results of the Aptas, who are the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamas, Alvar, Siddhas, who are authority of Hinduism, who manifested all the powers of Paramashiva. Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatars, personal experience of each power manifestation, Bhagavan's very own Leelas of power manifestations, and Shakshi Pramana, experience of the millions of disciple devotees, followers initiated by Bhagavan into the science of power manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully says, whoever comes to the Kailasa courtyard, I myself will be present and manifest through them. And simply Bhagavan gives us the blessings and the boons for us to raise into the superconscious being, bringing all the auspiciousness and abundance into our life. And beautiful healing space. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study, supports all these pramanas, the evidences that it is a science and it is measurable. The measuring of effect of being in the enlightened state, that is the thoughtless space. When you are in the thoughtless, the 0 thoughts per second happens, you simply experience the oneness with Paramashiva and manifest your reality. All the reality that you wanted simply can be manifested. When you understand you are literally $1 trillion son, how you would feel. That is what is power manifestation. You suddenly feel that you are auspiciousness, you are abundance, and you feel such a gratitude that suddenly somebody is just showering on you. And that is the space of enlightenment, and that is the space of consciousness that Bhagavan beautifully explains in the Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramana from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana is consciousness, Bhairava, one who experiences the consciousness, and Tantra is the method how you experience consciousness. Go beyond the mind, the step-by-step, how we have the labs where they have the step-by-step to experience, do the experiments. The same way Bhagavan has given a step-by-step process where we can experience the oneness with Paramashiva and manifest all these powers. This is from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95.
क्वचित् वस्तुनि विन्यस्य शनैर्दृष्टिं निवर्तयेत् तज्ज्ञानं चित्तसहितं देवी शून्यालयो भवेत् क्वचित् वस्तुनि विन्यस्य शनैर्दृष्टिं निवर्तयेत् तज्ज्ञानं चित्तसहितं देवी शून्यालयो भवेत्.
Bhagavan Paramashiva says, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, Vastu, one should slowly withdraw the sight from the object as well as slowly eliminate the knowledge of the object and with the thoughts and the impression of it. Then, O Devi, one abides in Sunya, the state where there is nothing other than this exists, which is a state of all-inclusive infinity. We are infinitely present and infinitely manifesting all the reality. Nothing can be taken away and nothing can be added. But unfortunately, we get deluded into the whatever we perceive as reality. And all that we perceive is only suffering, only all the incompletions and all the sadness. Even if we experience the joy, it is not the bliss, the ultimate oneness space that we are who we are. Bhagavan beautifully says, we recognize ourselves when we meet the Guru, and Guru is like a reflection who shows the inner space of us, who is Paramashiva, and we understand, oh wow, we are Paramashiva, we can manifest the reality. Till then we don't understand ourselves, we continue to suffer. Bhagavan has beautifully said, if you recognize that in you and attest that in you and start living that in you, you will start manifesting all the auspiciousness and all the reality. Only the delusion that exists as our reality is causing so much of pain, so much of incompletion. The more and more we start recognizing our inner space that we are Paramashiva, Paramashiva is flooding with auspiciousness and abundance, but we are unfortunately holding only the identity which we are only taking, like Bhagavan beautifully says, if you go to a lake, you take a cup of water, cup, and you can fill it in the cup. If you go to a lake with a bucket, you can fill it in the bucket. If you go to a lake with a big van, you can fill up the whole van. If we understand the Paramashiva space only during the power manifestation, we understand only like a cup of tea. That's all we understand. But if we take it to our life, it's like whole life. The universe of consciousness simply unfolds in us. Bhagavan beautifully says how we can experience that oneness. When Sudama, he was so poor and he had no money, no food, nothing, his wife pushes him to go and see Krishna. And she knows very well he will not ask anything to Krishna because he is already fulfilled with Krishna. So she just sends some flattened rice and send the message through that to Krishna that Sudama needs a family which needs a house and some things to survive. And he goes to Sudama only to the joy of seeing Krishna. Sudama goes to Krishna to see only the joy. He doesn't even understand that he is in such a poverty, he has to ask for some money for the family. But he is in such a joy that he wanted to know whether how Krishna is living, whether he is fine. All he receives and lives and breathes and sees everything as Krishna. So when he goes there, Krishna is so delighted to see him as fulfilling, overflowing with joy of Krishna. And Krishna just pours himself on him to see somebody like that. And simply each time he was eating the flattened rice, the wealth of Sudama started getting abundant and abundance. And Rukmini stops, enough, that is enough. And then he stops eating the flattened rice. The story says how the love, when overflowing, even as a little contribution that Sudama gave, whatever his wife gave, he gave it to Krishna. That's all he did. He didn't even want to give anything. It is like a friend. You don't give a friend anything. The friend just grabs from you and takes it and enjoys what you have bought for him. He knows and you know. The beautiful space of oneness that you create with the ultimate, that he is there to manifest every abundance in you. He is waiting and he's showering on you. If you know that, you simply start manifesting that reality. All we are thinking is we have to go and beg, we have to ask, we have to do some completion. All Bhagavan is saying, when you remove all the knowledge of the object, thought of the object, impression of the object, you don't have to wait. The Devi simply starts manifesting in you as infinity and simply showers you with the ultimate. Let's go to the Shastra Pramana. Apta Pramana. Apta Pramanas are the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nainamas, Alvars, Siddhas, all of them, Panchapandavas. They lived in such an enlightened space. And here, Duryodhana, this is from the Mahabharata book, Adi Parva, and page number 268 to 69. It beautifully says how Bhima getting power of 10,000 elephants. Duryodhana was jealous of his cousin Pandava, especially Bhima. And he thought that Bhima is the strength of the Pandava. If he kill him, that he will be mastering the whole Pandavas. So he listens to his uncle Shakuni And so he prepared poison and mixed with Bhima's favorite sweet. Unaware of this, Duryodhana's ill intention, Bhima ate nicely and fell unconscious. He packed himself in the weed and threw him in Ganga. And in Ganga, there were snakes, and the snakes thought, oh my god, there's somebody and we can bite, and it started biting. And Bhima slowly wakes up, not getting the poison, but he wakes up to see a lot of snakes. And they were so shocked that none of the snakes could do anything, or the poison that Duryodhana gave did anything to him. And they take him to the serpent chief, Aryaka. And Aryaka blesses him and says he's the first human to descend here. So asked him to stay there for a few days and offered him a magical drink which got him 10,000 elephant strength. That is the power of Bhima that he experienced. Duryodhana wanted to literally kill him, but he was in oneness always with Krishna. Bhima is such a devoted person. He only gained more and more strength, and nobody could take away his strength. And such a beautiful space that he was able to increase his strength in spite of what he was happening, simply into the beautiful oneness space. Atma Pramana, Bhagavan beautifully has spoken in the Kailasa courtyard how he manifested these powers for everyone.
Anything which runs by electrical and the electronics energy, just 3-4 days before I was just trying to play with my iPad, whether that is listening to me. I started just listening to me. I said, this app switch off, it gets off. Without typing the password, open, it opens. And I just said, go to this app store, went and download the messenger, downloaded. It was continuously doing. Then I decided, let me convert this into software and initiate as a power to everyone. Very casually only I did. And also by tomorrow you guys will be having a software. I'm preparing it. Any battery, you just hold in your hand, it will be charged. Any battery. From the air, it will produce energy. Actually, I have done it already. I'm converting that into a software. That work is going on. Maybe today, after initiation, I'll be in Samadhi. That time I'll finish that software work. Actually, whenever I'm in Samadhi, I do all this software writing. This power software writing. And I have also tightened and closed all the loops, loose ends in this rain software. You see, rain is related to length, breadth, depth, all the three. It was too much for many of you guys to swallow yesterday. It was too strong. So I have completed all the, tightened all the loose ends. Today you guys will see. It really becomes 100% success. The rain power, the power over the Vatavarana, after tightening all the loose ends. That is one. Second, any gadgets which runs electrically, electronically, you will be able to control it by will. Operate it, do anything you want with will. Two things. This Jnananjanam I will send it, all of you have. And after having, I'll initiate you guys. Then, the first step, where you are supposed to bring rain, write that, keep it under the Krishna Shila, give instruction and leave it. Leave it for 42 minutes. That time don't waste, start playing with the gadgets. Give the instruction and keep the Krishna Shila. Once you give the instruction, that is enough. It does not need to be constantly followed up. You only need to follow up that place, what is happening there. Then pick up any electronic objects you want to play, just put it on the Krishna Shila. Let the Nithyananda participants ask what the Balasant should do. You pen down the instruction, your request. The Balasant will do that. You give that instruction, it will do. Any object, it does not need to be only Balasant's objects, Balasant's iPhones. You keep your iPhone, they will open it. It will open, it will get switched on, it will download the apps or delete whatever you want, you write and give them. Always all your requests should be in writing. And then after they perform, you tick or cancel. Any command, only 3 minutes. If it takes more than 3 minutes, cancel, means they are not done it. Go for the next command. Any command only maximum 3 minutes. The rain only 42 minutes. If it is more than 42 minutes, crash, it has not happened, go for the next. Second, start the next place. Understand? So that is the way the fluttering will settle down. And it will become part of your biomemory. There were some of the loose ends, means I should say it was too much for your biomemory to grasp. It was too big bite. So many of the biomemories, it got stuck in the throat and unable to digest. First of all, even you are not able to, many of you guys are not able to grasp that it is possible. If you are integrated to that core, that's enough. You will manifest powers. You see, if you sat with your Balasant, 3 times if they have made the rain happen, then the entanglement as Shakti Nipada has happened with you. Now you can start. For example, 3 of you are sitting with one Balasant. If that Balasant has made 3 times rain happen, all 3 of you now you can start with your Krishna Shilas. You will start manifesting. 3 times is enough time for the Shakti Nipada to happen to you. Same way these gadgets. If you see them, if you are sitting with them and 5 commands they are making it successful. Shakti Nipada has happened to you, now you can start. Because you are not that strong to protect you from Shakti Nipada more than certain period. Once they make 3 times rain happen, immediately your core opens up for the Shakti Nipada. If 5 times you see your Balasant successfully making the commands on the electronic objects, then you can start doing, it'll work. It'll work for you. That much Shakti Nipada only is required. This is almost like a second Garbha Mandir. Structured form, like a Surya, sun. His sun is sunny. Sunny is his sun. Sometimes the part you deny comes and appears as your sun. And Surya's one wife, Usha, means is light. Chaya, all is self-hatred. Shade is opposite to the light. See, all is self-love comes as Usha, self-hatred comes as Chaya. So the whole Graha structure is nothing but our integrity, authenticity, completion, responsibility and enriching expression. Maybe when I find time, I'll sit and explain in detail and give you guys a session on that. Yes. All you guys settle down and close your eyes for a few minutes. I'll finish the initiation. You can open your eyes. You can start manifesting both the powers now. So now the Nithyananda Yogam participants can decide where the rain should happen. You can even keep 2-3 places, no problem. Write as a slip, but find out there should not be weather forecast there. Make sure there is no weather forecast there, rain. You see, under one Krishna Shila, one Balasant can keep even 2-3 places. That's not a problem. But the Balasant should visualize all the 2-3 places and give instruction. Sadashiva says in one place, even drinking alcohol, the karma will not be carried once the liver is destroyed. Means it will not come to you in the next Janmandal. And each of the vows you take, whether during the marriage or during the other kind of initiations, the vows are taken on Jadaragni, means the Agni fire in the stomach. Once that settles, over. That sins related to that does not come with you. The breaking of those vows does not come with you. It is left here. For example, if I have to give example, you take a vow on the Jadaragni that I will not steal others' things, but you steal. The karma will not come to you in the next Janma. It will come only as long as the Jadaragni is alive. Once the Jadaragni goes away, means once you are dead, during the death, Jadaragni is taken away. So after that, the karma doesn't come. For example, on Jadaragni only you take the marriage vows. All the Saptapadi is taken on Jadaragni in Agama. So if you break the marriage vows, karma does not come to you in the next Janmandal. Once the Jadaragni goes away, it goes away. That's all. It doesn't come after that. But if you miss the integrity with the Guru, that goes into biomemory and gets carried to Janmas. Gets carried to Janmas. Understand? Because the relationship with Guru is biomemory level. Deepest level. It's a level of relationship and level of commitment only based on that, how much of what karma comes with you and what karma does not come with you. Nothing else. Cosmos does not recognize property. Means ownership is not recognized in Cosmos. This is mine, that is yours. That is not recognized in Cosmos. That is recognized only in the local law. Marriage is not recognized in Cosmos. It's not recognized in cosmos. It's only recognized in your locality and in your society. But integrity is recognized to the cosmos. It is the spindle on which the lokas circulate, lokas spin around. Understand? You all need to know, the Vedic tradition says, the universe, you know, is going around the earth. This is the sun, this is the earth. Earth is going around the sun physically. Means the timing you know. But cosmically, if you see billion year, sun is also going around. Sun itself is going around. This is billion year, this is 1 year. That is why you always think about the 1 year and forget this billion year. Based on this only the yugas are counted. Understand? The whole universe, the spindle, Standila is planet Earth, because only here consciousness is alive. The spindle, you guys know only about the horizontal universe. In the vertical universe, this is the spindle. Below Batala, Adala, Sudala, Talatala, Batala, Boo. The whole thing you know is Boo. The whole Milky Way, everything is Boo. Above, Bhuva, Swa, Tapa. In this whole spindle, the spindle goes through the planet Earth. That is why the Upanishads and Vedas say planet Earth is the center and everything goes round. So the whole thing you know, end of the day, in billion year, goes round the planet Earth. Earth is flat as per Vedas, because whatever you know as Bhu is called as Earth in Vedic tradition, not just this planet Earth, this ball. Whatever you know, the whole Milky Way is called as planet Earth, called as Bhu in Vedic tradition. Earth is flat as for the Veda is right. Because the definition of Bhu is not this planet. All the grahas you know put together is the Milky Way is described as Bhu in Vedic tradition. That is flat.
Beautifully, Bhagavan said how we are connected and how we exist in a higher reality. As humans, we have forgotten this science, and Bhagavan is bringing down again the superconscious space for each one of us to become the superconscious being where we can experience all these knowledge and download and manifest as reality. Now, here is a Shakshi Pramana. Shakshis are Pramanas are millions of devotee, disciple, followers manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. Beautifully, here you can see the devotee clearly saying, Patel, how he has increased the cell phone charge, the percentage that he has increased in the cell phone charge. And all of us now can experience that oneness space when we start entangling with Bhagavan. How does this science work? Why is it a science? And how does the science work? Beautifully, Bhagavan has given, even as a science, that one can entangle, and if the other person is in that quantum space, our brain captures the higher reality and start entangling. The quantum entangling that happens. And because Bhagavan is in that beautiful oneness space of Paramashiva, when we entangle with Bhagavan, we also fall into that beautiful space and manifest as powers. This is scientifically known and scientifically studied as how these science of quantum physics works. Here you can experience that and see it as your reality. Everybody who's breathing, Bhagavan beautifully says, if you have a head and you're breathing, then you are capable of manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. And beautifully it is said, even the trees, even the plants, even the stones, even anything that exists has manifested powers and attained the enlightened space. Now he is giving us the superconscious space to understand that each one of us is Paramashiva. Now let's take the cell phone, close all the apps and take a screenshot of the cell phone with whatever charge available there. And if you can record it, that is beautiful. If you have the Kantamala, there is Jnananjan, you can apply in the third eye and the temples. You can see all the siddhas who have spoken about Jnananjan, how powerful it is. The very DNA of Bhagavan himself, when we apply in the third eye, it activates. Or if you do not have, you can apply the Aushadha, that is Kumkum and Vibhuti from a temple, which has the same DNA quality, which can be applied on your forehead, which detox your third eye, and you start manifesting powers. These are now signs which we understand as our own special space of oneness with Paramashiva, and doing it in Shaktipada, understanding the real essence, how we do not calculate the whole science. When we give a rose, we don't say which. When we give a rose to another person, we don't say which sutras, which dharana it is there, or which scriptures it is there. We know the experience. But when we are given this highest science by Bhagavan, we question everything. The medicine that we take, we don't have anything standing by it except some Google Docs, but we take it and it solves our problems. Here Bhagavan gives so many references and so many evidences how we can manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. Each one can become superconscious being if we understand the science. And here you can take a screenshot and you do not touch the camera, the cell phone here after that. Cell phone is nothing but the silicon. Silicon is the earth energy, sand, silt. From that only they make the chips, which is silicon. Simply the mother energy literally understands us, how we work with plants yesterday. The earth energy, mother energy, simply listens to us and we can manifest as powers if we understand the simple steps of Paramashiva. Now let's sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Let's get into the deep meditation of oneness with Paramashiva. Bring yourself to the Parashakti Paramashiva space. The bhava is what is important to your third eye. Again and again visualize and verbalize only the bhava that you can experience, and that is what you are. How you're breathing, how your food becomes, all the blood and all the vitamins go to the right part is not something you logically think and manipulate and plan and schedule. Everything happens as a reality because Paramashiva is in this matter as consciousness. Same way, if you see everybody as matter, because you are a matter. If you see everybody as consciousness, Paramashiva, you are in consciousness. So once you understand that you are consciousness and everyone you project, everything you project is a projection of you as a reality. In the dream, you see your mother, your father, your brother and somebody else. Your brother also sees you and your brother and father and mother. Multiple places you are existing, but actually you are sleeping, though which reality is true. But all you experience is multiple reality, multiple people and multiple possibilities. Bhagavan says, in the dream you do it unconsciously. Here the same science done it consciously is called superconscious breakthrough. And you can experience, when you can do it in the dream itself, why can't you do it now? All that you need is complete surrender of your identity so that you can raise the identity of Paramashiva in you, which is manifesting, which is the one which is making you breathe, which is the one which is making you think. Bhagavan beautifully says, that which cannot be forgotten, that which cannot be remembered, but that which remembers you. And so the consciousness, which is the original space in you, which is manifesting your life constantly, instead of fighting with the life and having a struggle with everything that we are going through, surrender that and connect to Paramashiva, the ultimate. It can be Ishtadeva, it can be Ganesha, Subramanya. Bhagavan says anything you are connected to, bring only that as your consciousness. And then chant the Mahavakya. Continuously when you chant the Mahavakya, you raise your frequency. You can chant any of the mantra, Shivoham, Namah Shivaya, Om, any of them. You raise your frequency, the thoughts per second becomes zero. When thoughts per second becomes zero, and because you are in the enlightened space, like you go to a temple, the temple radiates in such a intense space that you, whatever you ask becomes reality. Tathastu happens. Same way here also the auspiciousness and abundance is overflowing in Kailash Kotiyar. So once you drop your identity, connect to your Ishtadevata and chant the Mahavakya intensely for a few minutes in a deep meditation, it becomes the Tathastu and it becomes the reality. So simply hold your phone Please do not touch it. Set your phone in such a way that it's not switched off, but it is switched on without any application open. You can have the application, but it should not be open. So the battery power is going to be increased, not decreased, because decreased, then you'll have a doubt. Maybe my phone is automatically decreasing. So without doubt, we should manifest powers. Only through chanting every word that you chant has powers. So simply by chanting and connecting to the Paramashiva space in you, the Ishtadevata space in you, you manifest as powers. So let's start entangling with Bhagavan. Bhagavan being in the oneness space, the conscious space, the ultimate space, and entangling with Bhagavan in the oneness space, chanting the Mahavakya again and again, bringing the Paramashiva, Parashakti, 25 heads and 75 eyes and 50 hands, sitting as Devi continuously and manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva, the power of silicon. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya and experience the power of silicon. Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda.
Beautiful. Whatever you have received as prasada from Bhagavan, whatever is manifested, take a screenshot. And if you're video recording, wonderful. See the differences, how it has increased from whatever charges it is and now how much it has increased. These amazing things that we experience oneness with Paramashiva should be authentically measured. If you have 5 to 10 units which has increased, you have manifested the powers completely. If you just experience the Kundalini energy, or you just feel the vibration, or you just the phone got switched off or switched on, or started playing some app or playing Mahavakya, many of these instances which has happened, simply you can record that you have started manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. In the courtyard, Balasins used to keep sending messages and pictures without touching the cell phone. They can keep the cell phone away from each other, and simply by power of third eye they will send the pictures to each other. And we have measured it and scientifically seen it that it is all possible. The silicon simply listen to you. How if you ask one of your pet to go pick up a ball and come, that's exactly how the cell phone also starts responding to you when you connect to it in the oneness space. All that we understand is matter is not just the matter. It is Paramashiva. Everything that exists is Paramashiva. Everything that manifests is Parashakti. If we understand that reality, we will not consider anything as matter, and everything will become auspiciousness, and everything will be Paramashiva. Nothing will be just left to decay or get wasted, because everything that exists is Paramashiva. And such a beautiful space, surrender everything to Bhagavan Paramashiva, to his lotus feet. Again and again, by consciously you doing that, your cognition gets deeper and deeper, and you start manifesting and reflecting the superconscious into your space. And each of your cells simply starts reflecting the higher consciousness that you are soaked in the bliss of Paramashiva, forgetting your body, forgetting everything else. If an ant sees a paper, it can see only the length and breadth. And then you stack a paper on some other pile, it will think, oh, the paper disappeared. but you know you have kept the paper in a different place. Same way, if you're a higher consciousness that you are infinity, nothing can be removed away from you or taken away from you. All the stress that we go through, that something is taken away, something is not given to us, something is lost in us, whatever we are thinking is what we experience as a pain, as a incompletion, as a reality which causes more and more poverty and problems. But when we understand the higher science, how we exist, nothing can be taken away from me. It exists in a different form, different reality, in a different plane, in a different way. If we understand that science, we will understand that we are just projecting. How in the dream we are projecting. Even if we have a heart attack, we don't run to a hospital when we get up. That is because we know that that is not real. Same way, if you know this reality, what you experience is also not real, but you can manifest your reality consciously to experience all these things. And that is like you projecting your own movie as your reality. If we surrender more and more, experience oneness with Paramashiva, we can create that reality. Bhagavan says, command over reality is consciousness, is the science of power manifestation. So let's close all the apps, few minutes. Let's not use the cell phone for any other purpose. Close all the apps, chant the Mahavakya. This is the cycle too. If you have already manifested, you can share it in the YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're connected. If you are still connecting to Paramashiva, surrender all that thoughts, what you are expecting, what you know, what you don't know, everything. Only merge into the space of Paramashiva. How you melt in when you have a beautiful music. Same way, melting into Paramashiva space continuously will open up a new dimension. Chanting the Mahavakyas and melting into the oneness space, being in the bhava of Parashakti, sitting herself and manifesting all these powers in you is the ultimate gift that you can experience. So let's have one more cycle of few minutes of meditation. Close your eyes and sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Take a screenshot of the cell phone screen so you know how much percentage it is. Close all the apps and chant. Do not touch after that. Chant the Mahavakya, entangling with Bhagavan in the oneness space, manifesting the powers of silicon, increasing the battery charge.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Beautiful. Whatever you have experienced, please share it in tinyurl.com/powermanifestation, offering your gratitude to Bhagwan's lotus feet. Again and again, surrender all the powerful cognition, power manifestation to Bhagwan's lotus feet and thanking Bhagwan from your deepest space and yearning for Bhagwan to manifest the Paramashiva space as your existential reality. And if you see a $sign at the end of the YouTube, you can offer your contribution to Kailasa. All that you offer simply manifest enfold into your reality, bringing Kailasa to your inner space. Bhagwan gives simple methods for us to enrich and cause our reality. When you cause others' life reality, you cause your reality. Again and again, Bhagwan gives us the ultimate space for us to expand into superconscious being. How all the avatars come and contribute to all of us. Same way, when we start sharing these great truths to the humanity, they also get blessed. And simply they also start experiencing the higher consciousness. Thank you so much for being here. Simply you do a pradakshina of yourself, manifesting all these powers of Paramashiva and being in the deep meditative space. So with that, let's thank Bhagwan and end the session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you. See you again the next after the satsang, after the darshans and after all the pre-satsangs. We'll have Kailash Kutya. See you then.